It's almost!
He's done it again! Unbelievable!
Oh, straight into the roof of the net.
Nice one.
Straight down the middle. So a good performance from both teams.
Hi, I'm Rupha Ramani and you're watching First Sports. Now it's a red letter day. In fact, today is the day to paint the town red because I am seeing a lot of red. No, I'm not angry, but there's a lot of red on the show today. Lewis Hamilton has got us all excited. Get ready to roll out the red carpet for him as he moves to Ferrari in 2025. He's made the biggest splash of the year so far, and we'll tell you why he left Mercedes and what to expect in the coming months. And could there be another shocker in red? After a tearful farewell from AS Roma, will Jose Mourinho sport another kind of red? Reports are emerging of a possible move to the Red Devils camp. All that drama surrounding Erik Ten Hag and his players is clearly leaving the Manchester United management red in the face. More on this in the show, and from being a red herring in their path to now calling truce. Will PGA Tour shake hands with LIV Golf's prime investor and backer, Saudi Arabia? But first, all the headlines in Sports 360. Starting with football, Al Nassr crushed Inter Miami 6-0 last night. Injury had ruled Cristiano Ronaldo out of a much-hyped showdown with Lionel Messi. Messi himself only came as a late substitute in the game. Anderson Souza, or Talisca as he's called, scored a hat-trick, demolishing their Major League Soccer opponents, scoring 3 times in the first 12 minutes. Ronaldo's current team won in Saudi, and so did his former club in Madrid. Real Madrid regained, in fact, their top spot in the La Liga table with a comfortable 2-0 victory at Getafe. Joselu scored a goal in each half to move Madrid 2 points clear of Girona at the top of the table. This was the 6th straight league victories for Madrid. They play Atletico again in the Madrid derby this Sunday. The United States moved 2-0 up against Ukraine in their Davis Cup game in Lithuania. Sebastian Korda and Davis Cup debutant Chris Eubanks won Thursday's singles matches. World number 33 Korda overcame the challenge of Oleksiy Krutik, a player ranked 309 ranks below him, to earn a battling 6-3, 6-7, 6-4 win. In another continent, Pakistan will be hosting India in their Davis Cup encounter starting 3rd February. And in the NBA, the Los Angeles Lakers stunned the Boston Celtics with a 3rd home defeat. Lakers delivered a thrilling 114 to 105 points win in Boston. Austin Reeves powered through for the Lakers with a 32-point effort. 4-time NBA MVP LeBron James and star forward Anthony Davis were ruled out by the Lakers due to injury. Now, Mercedes and Lewis Hamilton, a love story that is more than just competing together in Formula One. It's a story that is filled with love, drama, memorable wins, and the occasional fights. The perfect love story, nothing short of a Hollywood movie. Lewis Hamilton, dressed in silver, was almost a part of the machine. They were welded, forged together, one body. You couldn't really see where the car stopped and the driver began. But picture this: Cristiano Ronaldo in colours of Barcelona. Or for cricket lovers, MS Dhoni in colours of Royal Challengers Bengaluru, an IPL franchise that's spearheaded almost by Virat Kohli. Or Michael Jordan at Los Angeles Lakers instead. The association is jarring and a shock to the nerves, because after a certain point, it is not just about the player, but the player being the face of the team or the franchise or the brand. So then this picture, Lewis Hamilton in red, is quite a shocker. He's leaving Mercedes. The British Formula One icon will be joining Ferrari for the 2025 season. So it is still a while away, but this is the biggest news we all woke up to. Hamilton in red, standing next to Charles Leclerc in red. There is so much excitement and sadness as well that fans are experiencing everywhere. It's a mix of emotions. Excitement for obvious reasons. Sadness, well, that quite a few for that as well. Hamilton joining Ferrari also means that Carlos Sainz is the collateral damage to the biggest Formula One news story to come out in the 21st century. Sainz confirmed the news of his departure after the 2024 season via social media. He said he and Ferrari will part ways at the end of the year, and it is going to be a long season. He says he will give his absolute best, and he will, of course, let everyone know what his future course would be. Now, the arrival of Hamilton was bound to make this Mercedes move, on the other hand, confirmed the departure of Lewis Hamilton. The club CEO and team principal Toto Wollf broke the news.
In terms of team driver pairing, our relationship with Lewis has become the most successful the sport has seen, and that's something we can look back on with pride. However, we knew our partnership would come to a natural end at some point, and that day has come now. We accept Lewis's decision to seek a fresh challenge, and our opportunities for the future are exciting to contemplate. But for now, we still have one season to go, and we are focused on racing to deliver a strong 2024.
Now, two things that I can read from that statement of Toto Wollf. One, Toto says he accepts this. It comes from a place of acknowledgement. Now, there are successful franchises in every sport. Mercedes is definitely one of it. Yes, but when you speak about legacy and being responsible for making athletes everywhere dream, then you are talking about one image. It's like saying every sports person's dream is to represent your country. It is what drives you. And Toto knows every Formula One driver's biggest dream would be to sit behind the wheel and race a car that legends like Michael Schumacher and Niki Lauda once drove themselves. And Toto Wollf also says that he saw this coming, and maybe somewhere we all did. It's like that relationship that is forged with love, so you think you can push and make this last despite disagreements or fights, because the love should be strong enough to see you through to the end. Last year was tough for both Toto Wollf and Lewis Hamilton. They did have a very strained 2023, which is going to be for another year now. Meanwhile, Ferrari announced that Hamilton will be joining on a multi-year contract. It's believed that Hamilton activated a release option after he signed a 2-year contract with Mercedes. Let's then hear it from the man at the center of the new storm.
Mercedes has been part of my life since I was 13 years old. It's a place where I have grown up, so making the decision to leave was one of the hardest decisions I have ever had to make. But the time is right for me to take this step, and I'm excited to be taking on a new challenge. I am 100% committed to delivering the best performance I can this season and making my last year with the Silver Arrows one to remember.
Now, a new challenge awaits Hamilton, much like what critics believed that he did when Hamilton left McLaren and joined Mercedes. They described the move as a big gamble. Pundits believed that Mercedes had no history of success, and not many would have imagined what would follow. Of his 7 world champion titles, he won 6 with Mercedes. At his 11 years at Mercedes, Hamilton won a total of 82 races. He's also finished in top 3 during a race also called as podium finish on 142 occasions. Those are some staggering statistics. No wonder Hamilton's legacy at Mercedes is something to cherish. And thus, move to join Mercedes' rival is something not many can accept, expect, or even digest, or welcome with open arms just as much. Not many can wrap their heads around this, and yes, I can understand that. But was his decision to move to Ferrari out of the blue, or was it always on the cards? Hamilton, like many drivers, I would presume now, has had a fascination with Ferrari. He has acknowledged the temptation to join them in the past. Back in 2021, he said, and I quote, "It's definitely going to be crazy to think that I never drove for Ferrari, because for everyone, that's a dream position to be in." He certainly is in a dream position now. Hamilton would be looking at the new chapter fascinatingly. Ferrari had just recently also announced a new multi-year deal. For ace driver Charles Leclerc, the duo will now pair up to compete in the 2025 season. But with Hamilton leaving for Ferrari, there will be a big void at Mercedes, and it would be hard one to fill. But who are the potential replacements then for Hamilton? The most likely would be Carlos Sainz, almost a straight swap deal. Sainz's contract runs out in 2024, and he will be looking for a new team in 2025. Sainz is a 2-time race winner and has been on podium 18 times in his 9-year-long career. Another name doing the rounds, of course, is that of Sergio Perez. Similar to Sainz, his contract runs out at the end of 2024 this year with Red Bull, and an extension looks a little unlikely at this point. But there were rumors of him planning to retire after his stint with Red Bull should he choose to continue, a spot in Mercedes could be ideal. Mercedes have had their love affair with Williams Racing in the recent past, having signed their previous 2 drivers from that racing entity, and thus the name of Alex Albon was bound to pop up. There are many candidates that can replace Hamilton at Mercedes, but will any of these fill the big shoes? Well, that's tough to say. On the other hand, how will Hamilton flourish at Ferrari? Will his quest for another World Championship title be fulfilled in different colors? That's for another day, some time away. But for now, I think all of us will take some time to come out of this and let it all sink in. And while we get used to seeing him in another outfit, it will take some time to see Lewis Hamilton in another avatar a year later. Now, English Premier League football club Manchester United seems to be controversy's favourite child. About a decade back, they used to stay in the news for winning titles or going on unbeaten runs for months. But now, forget winning titles for the once upon a time Premier League giants. It's even hard to stay in contention for the title. They are in the news for all the wrong reasons, and reasons away from the football pitch. There is all sorts of drama unfolding. Now, it's great for us to weave you all the updated inside stories, like how Laney does it for Hollywood, but I know all you Manchester United fans out there are quite fed up with this. You just want the drama to get over. You hate every single event that's transpired off the field, almost resulting in a parody, a joke, of all that the predecessors had done to bring glory to this club. The Manchester United saga has it all though, from the villains to the rich, spoiled, tantrum-throwing kids as we've perceived it. Now, if it was Marcus Rashford's drunken night fiasco 2 days back, it's voices of a possible return of an old face at United that's doing the rounds today. But before we get to that very interesting topic, let's set you up the scene. What a possible new manager will have on his hands. Now, United, in the quest of winning titles and getting their mojo back, brought in Erik Ten Hag. The manager was expected to end United's trophy drought, be the messiah. But so far, he has only managed to win Carabao Cup, a domestic tournament contested in England. Given United's legacy, a domestic trophy doesn't really cut it. It's like telling Novak Djokovic to be happy winning the Stockholm Open or the Qatar Open, an ATP 250 event. So in his tenure so far, Ten Hag has managed United on 60 occasions in the Premier League. He's won 34 of those encounters, but has lost 18 and drawn on 8 occasions. The club expected Ten Hag to revive Manchester United's fortunes, but it's only gone downhill in the last 2 seasons that Ten Hag has managed United. And they are currently 7th in the Premier League points table. Not something many are used to seeing after the highs under Alex Ferguson. The club is clearly in deep trouble. In their 22 matches this season, United have only won 11. They've lost 9 and have drawn 2, as you can see. Let's say the performances get back on track. What about the atmosphere? The atmosphere in the dressing room is far from being rosy. The tussles between Erik Ten Hag and so many high-profile players has been constantly doing the rounds. We have documented that well enough for you, so I won't go into the details any further. I'll spare some of you Manchester United fans the horror of reliving all of that. It's safe to say, though, that the ambience in the dressing room of Manchester United currently is anything but warm, leading many fans to ask for a change in guard, thinking it's about time. And if many voices are to be believed, in the race to take over is the special one. Yes, Jose Mourinho is reportedly trying a return to Manchester United. Mourinho is currently hunting for a role after being sacked by AS Roma earlier this month. We spoke about that. Mourinho had a decent run at Roma. The silver lining, of course, was the Conference League victory, their first European title. So there is a lot of noise of Mourinho becoming a Red Devil again. But if he joins, will he bring back United's glory days? This won't be Mourinho's first spell at Manchester United, but will this spell be a better one than before? In his last stint at Old Trafford, Jose had a decent outing. United won the Europa League, League Cup and Community Shield, and even finished second in the 2017-18 Premier League season. The numbers are all fine. The larger question is, will Jose Mourinho be the right fit in the current scenario? Will his approach work at United if he's given the job? Erik Ten Hag's strict disciplinarian methods is not going down too well with the boys. We're seeing enough of that to come to this conclusion. He's the boss, and that's how Ten Hag wants to run things there. But Mourinho too has his ways. He's known to be a little out of the box and crazy in his own managerial approach. Although some of the players have played under him in the past, like Rashford, Marshall, Luke Shaw and Scott McTominay, can they get used to Mourinho's manners now and get with the programme? The way to look at it, United probably had their best season post Alex Ferguson's departure under Mourinho. But there were a lot of issues that followed thereafter as well. He fell out with players like Paul Pogba, and the news created a lot of buzz in the media. Mourinho might have been Mr. Perfect, but maybe not at the right time and at the right place. After he was sacked, he even said that he needed more time to give results at Manchester United. Now, if the rumours turn out to be true, this will be a big change at United. The perfectionist demands much more than performance. And he's one hard teacher as well. Not really sure if he will entertain drunken night outs under him. One thing is certain though, fans are getting nervy and anxious. They can't wait for a revival at Manchester United. Now, golf is often considered a gentleman's game. Now, since the inception of Saudi-funded LIV Golf League though, the gentlemen in it have turned rather ungentlemanly. LIV Golf, launched in 2022, is being spearheaded by former world number 1 and two-time major champion Greg Norman. Some of the biggest names have since then dumped the Professional Golfers Association or the PGA to move over, clearly enticed by the massive payouts offered by LIV, like Phil Mickelson, Bryson DeChambeau. When such seasoned players in fact switched allegiance, it sparked bitter sentiments, especially among traditionalists who were part of the golf legacy. They thought it's an attack to the classical game. LIV has a starkly different business model, allowing golfers to gain more financially. For example, none of the PGA tournaments offer appearance money to the golfers, but the Saudi-backed league LIV, on the other hand, guarantees it. Some PGA Tour veterans like Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy have stayed loyal so far and have turned down offers repeatedly from LIV. So PGA now has come up with a way to reward its loyalists, and this seems to be having another party showing interest as well. Take a look.
The battle between Saudi Arabia's LIV Golf and PGA Golf has taken on a fresh turn. Here's the lowdown. The PGA, or Professional Golfers Association, has struck a new lucrative deal. A conglomerate of high-profile US-based sports team owners named the Strategist Sports Group will invest a staggering $3 billion in PGA. Out of the $3 billion, $1.5 billion will be used to create a profit entity that's called the PGA Tour Enterprises. This new venture will allow US-based circuit players to own equity worth over $1.5 billion collectively. So, in simple words, pro golfers will be part owners holding stakes in this new profit firm. Around 200 PGA Tour players will be offered this opportunity, and equity will be based on parameters like career achievements and future participation. This major deal will give PGA the ability to make golf more rewarding for players, fans, and partners. And the other $1.5 billion will go towards other PGA Tour businesses. Until now, the PGA has functioned on a non-profit basis, without any sort of external investments being brought into the tour. This new partnership is expected to generate more revenue, enhance the growth of golf across the world, and will reward players like Rory McIlroy and Tiger Woods, who chose to not join the Saudi-backed LIV Golf, its biggest competitor. Jay Moynihan, who is PGA's tour commissioner and will serve as the CEO of this new profit company, said,
Today marks an important moment for the PGA Tour and fans of golf across the world. By making the PGA Tour members owners of their league, we strengthen collective investment of our players in the success of the PGA Tour.
Here's what this deal can potentially do though. It can open the floodgates and get others to potentially want to invest. And by others, we primarily mean the rich and very able Saudi Public Investment Fund. Yes, the very firm that's backing and funding the competition, LIV Golf. The Saudi PIF seems to have definitely shown interest, as indicated in this statement by the PGA Tour. The transaction allows for a co-investment from the Public Investment Fund in the future, subject to all necessary regulatory approvals. Both parties are working towards an ultimate agreement. SSG has consented to an investment by PIF subject to any necessary regulatory review and approvals. This is huge. When LIV Golf and Saudi Arabia took its stand, everyone felt this was a move to try and kill the source of the competition, the PGA, and get everyone to gravitate towards LIV eventually. But this move implicitly shows how Saudi PIF sees the bigger picture. They want their finger in every pie. That only means more investment and more ownership in multiple sporting properties, adding on to the multiple sporting disciplines that the country is already venturing into. There is still a while away for this partnership between Saudi PIF and the PGA Tour to materialize. Until that happens, LIV and PGA will tee off in their respective lanes and players will continue to compete in both LIV and PGA golf tours. This new deal secured by the PGA will give it some security and moreover keep it relevant in an ever-changing golf landscape. In the past 2 years, several top golfers have been lured by lucrative offers given by the Saudi-funded LIV Golf. PGA's new deal will give them a sense of security and keep them rooted. When LIV Golf broke into the circuit in 2022, PGA's most seasoned faces raised doubts over its concept and how it damaged the reputation of the gentleman's game. To everybody's surprise, Rory McIlroy, who's been a vehement critic of LIV, has now taken a U-turn saying that players should have the liberty to join whichever tour they want to. This after the new deal emerging. Let's just say that money does all the talking.
Now we've come to the end of the show and it's time, as always, for Last Serve. A reveal is a big thing for any sport. How you announce a fixture, a new jersey or a new player that's coming in. There's a lot of money, a lot of fanfare and much drama. Watch the Chilean football club Colo Colo unveil their new big signing, Arturo Vidal. The theatrics of this is stunning.
Saluda a los capitanes.
That's some drama there. But yes, the fans loved it. That's all there is time for here on Firstpost. Thanks so much for joining in. I hope you enjoyed this. Have a great weekend. I'll see you again later. But do take care and keep watching Firstpost here.